right? So decomposition is very important for cycling the different processes. I mean different minerals as well as the organic and inorganic substances, right? So decomposition is nothing but the returning back of the elements or the different components which are taken by the plants and animals from the soil, right? So they again deposited into the soil, right? So by the decomposition process, the ecosystem will perform that process, right? So in this process that we discussed, so what we see finally the energy is flowing, right? Finally, I mean, if we talk about the flow of energy, so certainly the organic molecules, they are having bond energy. Initially there's sunlight, the light energy is there, photon energy is there, and then that photon is converted into the light, carbohydrate by the process of photosynthesis. I mean, organic substance has been formed. Then the living creature like plants and animals, they do have the organic substances. I mean, they are having their bond energy, right? And those bond energy then will be broken down by the decomposers by the process of decomposition to convert those organic substances into inorganic substances, and they return back into the soil. This is one thing, right? So apart from that, that energy flow can be understood separately, right? So how the energy flow is there. So energy, the prime source of energy in the different ecosystem is the sunlight, right? Except some ecosystem like the deep sea hydrothermal ecosystem where the solar radiation is not available, right? So the other mechanism to provide the energy is there, but most of the ecosystem is run by the sunlight only, right? So sunlight, the energy there in the photon is converted into the carbohydrate by the green plants, and that organic compound which is fixed by the green plants are then utilized by the different herbivores, then carnivores, right? Like that the energy will flow from the one trophic level to the next trophic level. But the whatever amount of solar radiation it comes onto the earth, only certain part of that radiation has been utilized by the green plants, right? And that part which is utilized by the plants for the photosynthesis are called photosynthetically active radiation. That is called PAR, right? Photosynthetically active radiation, right? नीट में बहुत बार इसका full form ही पूछ दिया है PAR का, right? So approximately the 50% of the incident solar radiation or less than that, right, of the incident solar radiation, less than 50% of it is the PAR, right? Less than 50%. And out of this, the plant can absorb a very few percent of the PAR for the photosynthesis, right? I mean 50% of the radiation, incident radiation, which comes on to the earth, right, is called photosynthetically active radiation, and among that 50%, only 2 to 10% PAR has been utilized by the plants to perform actively carbohydrate or to photosynthesize, right? And once the carbohydrate has been made, then this green plant is called producer because they synthesize carbohydrate, they synthesize bond energy by utilizing the sunlight. So they produces the carbohydrate, so they convert the solar radiation or solar energy into the bond energy, and finally this producer has been consumed by the another trophic level or another organism, that is herbivores, and those herbivores has then be eaten by the or have by the carnivores, so they are then secondary consumer. So herbivores are the primary consumer then carnivores are the secondary consumer, and like that the energy which is fixed by the photosynthesis in the plant has been flown into the next trophic level. So that's the story here in this energy flow, right? So Angelina, you can read from here.
Yes, sir. Energy flow. Except for the deep sea hydrothermal ecosystem, sun is the only source of energy for all ecosystems on Earth. Of the incident solar radiation, less than 50% of it is photosynthetically active radiation (PAR). We know that plants and photosynthetic bacteria, autotrophs, fix sun's radiant energy to make food from simple inorganic materials. Plants capture only 2 to 10% of the PAR, and this small amount of energy sustains the entire living world. So, it is very important to know how the solar energy captured by plants follows through different organisms of an ecosystem. All organisms are dependent for their food on producers either directly or indirectly. So, you find unidirectional flow of energy from the sun to producers and then to consumers. Is this in keeping with the first law of thermodynamics?
Okay,
Further,
just a minute, just a minute. So here two, three important informations are given. First of all, the hydrothermal ecosystem, they won't use sunlight, right, to run the process, but most of the ecosystem, they use sunlight as a source of energy, right? This is one thing. Then PAR, the less than 50% of the solar radiation comes onto the earth, and that is PAR, photosynthetically active region. And the photosynthetic plants as well as bacteria, some bacteria, they are having like green sulfur bacteria, they are having green pigment, right? Photosynthetic bacteria, I mean many cyanobacteria, right? They are prokaryote and they can photosynthesize. So they can photosynthesize and fix the solar radiation into the organic substance by using the simple inorganic materials like carbon dioxide, water, right? We know very well the photosynthesis, how the photosynthesis occurs. So only 2 to 10%, kitna? Only 2 to 10% of the power has been utilized for the photosynthesis, and by this amount, whatever carbohydrate has been synthesized is sufficient to run the entire world, entire living ecosystem or entire living world, right? And here, if you look at the energy flow is always unidirectional, right? हमेशा कैसे होती है? एक direction flow होती है, back नहीं होती है, right? Once the herbivores have that plant, then energy has been transferred from the plant to the herbivores, but it cannot be in the reverse manner, right? So always the energy flow is unidirectional, right? So that keep in mind. So here they are asking, is this in keeping with the first law of thermodynamics? So can you tell me the first law of thermodynamics? What is the first law of thermodynamics? बता सकते हो क्या है first law of thermodynamics? Energy never be created nor be destroyed, isn't it? Isn't it? यही है ना? So हम ना तो बना सकते हैं ना उसको destroy कर सकते हैं. So yeah, of course, it looks that entire amount of energy has been transferred to the one trophic level to the next trophic level. That is not in synchronized with our discussion here, but we discuss in the later classes that of course this thermodynamics principle has been followed, right? But the entire amount of energy has not been transferred. Some energy has been lost. Some amount of energy has been lost from transferring the energy to the one trophic level to the other trophic level, right? But of course, we always follow the first law of the thermodynamics. So here the transfer of energy is only there, right? So like light energy will form the bond energy, then decomposers again break the bond energy to the organic substance into the inorganic substances and release the energy, right? So the energy flow is unidirectional and always they follow the first law of thermodynamics, of course, right? Okay, you start reading here from here.
Further, ecosystems are not exempt from the second law of thermodynamics. They need a constant supply of energy to synthesize the molecules they require to counteract the universal tendency toward increasing disorderliness.
Yes.
The green
So second law is about the disorderness, entropy, है ना, पढ़ा होगा तुमने केमिस्ट्री में, entropy के बारे में बताता है. So here also the second law is very well followed by the ecosystem, right? So the constant supply of energy is required, right? And the energy to synthesize the molecules they always require, and this increase in energy will increase the tendency towards the disorderness. जितनी ज़्यादा energy होगी उतनी ज़्यादा disorderness होगी, right? उतनी ज़्यादा entropy होगी, randomness होगी, isn't it? So it follow the second law also, right? First law as well as the second law of thermodynamics. Yes, आगे. Hello?
The green plant, the ecosystem are called producers. In a terrestrial ecosystem, major producers are herbaceous and woody plants. Likewise, producers in an aquatic ecosystem are various species like phytoplankton, algae, and higher plants.
Yes, very simple. This is producer. So producer in the terrestrial is herbivorous and woody plant, and in the pond ecosystem or aquatic ecosystem, the phytoplankton, algae, and some higher plants which is on the bank of the river or pond is also responsible for the making of carbohydrates. So they are producer. Yes, yes, bro.
You have read about the food chains and webs that exist in nature. Starting from the plants or producers, food chains or rather webs are formed such that an animal feeds on a plant and or on another animal and in turn is food for another. The chain or web is formed because of this interdependency. No energy that is trapped into an organism remains in it forever. The energy trapped by the producer hence is either passed on to a consumer or the organism dies. Death of organism is the beginning of the detritus food chain or web.
Yes, yes, just a minute. See, here the food chain is nothing but we dependent on the, suppose herbivores are dependent on the plants. Then again the herbivores has been have by the carnivores, then secondary carnivores, usse bhi bade carnivores, right, like that. And many a times what happens, the food chain, I mean food chains of the two different ecosystem are interconnected, right? And that makes the food web, right? जैसे मैं यहाँ पे एक example दूँ, like birds, right? Birds, they are the organism which are or which will have the fruits or the leaves or other plant product, as well as they dependent on the they have the mouse on the terrestrial ecosystem. Along with that, they are also connected with the aquatic ecosystem, like they will have the snake also, they will have the frog also, वो उसको भी खाता है. So यहाँ पे क्या होता है, बहुत सारे फूड चेन मिलके फूड वेब बना लेते हैं बहुत बार, राइट? सो दिस फूड वेब और फूड चेन जो भी हम बोले, so they are nothing but the interdependency, right? I mean, we all are interdependent on each other. I mean, the different populations of the ecosystem are dependent upon the each other, right? So the energy that is trapped into the organisms remain as it is not true. I mean, energy cannot be trapped into a single organism forever. It is not true, and hence it is transferred from the one trophic level to the another trophic level. Many times what happens, the producers has not have been by the consumers, they have not been eaten by the consumers, but time will come when the death occurs, है ना? प्रोड्यूसर की वजह से लीफ फॉल होते हैं, भले वो कोई ग्रेजिंग एनिमल्स या कोई हर्बीवोर्स नहीं खाया हो लीफ को या प्लांट को, बट टाइम विल कम व्हेन द प्लांट विल डाई, and after death again the part of the plant which dies again enters into the food chain or the food web. So how? तो हमने पीछे पढ़ा कि that the decayed substances or the dead leaf or dead organisms they enter into the detritus food chain. वो decomposition होगा उसका, and decomposition is nothing but they enter into the detritus food chain, right, or food wave. तो ये food wave और food chain ये interdependency को दिखाता है. Even we see here the detrivores are also connected with us, right? And they are making a specific kind of food chain that is called detritus food chain or food wave, right? Okay, so you start from here.
All animals depend on plants directly or indirectly for their food needs. They are hence called consumers and also heterotrophs. If they feed on the producers, the plants they are called primary consumers, and if the animals eat other animals which in turn eat the plants or their produce, they are called secondary consumers. Likewise, you could have tertiary consumers too. Obviously, the primary consumers will be herbivores. Some common herbivores are insects, birds, and mammals in terrestrial ecosystem and molluscs in aquatic ecosystem.
Okay, this is very simple. बोल रहा है consumers, जो animals हैं वो consumers हैं, है ना? Plants हो गए producer और ये animals हो गए consumers. Consumers भी अलग अलग level है. जैसे जो herbivores होंगे उसको हम लोग primary consumer बोलेंगे, right? जैसे हम बात कर rabbit, right? They are primary consumer. Okay. अब rabbit को क्या करेगा? उससे जो बड़े animals हैं, like dog, right? Like hyenas, they will target to eat them, right? So they are called secondary consumer, right? अब हाइना या जो डॉग हैं उनको कौन टारगेट करेगा? तो उससे बड़े एनिमल्स लाइक लायन, टाइगर, राइट? वो उसको खाएगा, राइट? सो दे आर कॉल्ड टर्सरी कंज्यूमर. तो प्राइमरी कंज्यूमर, सेकेंडरी कंज्यूमर, टर्सरी से यहाँ पे लायन वाला एग्जांपल दिया मैंने, वो टर्सरी कंज्यूमर हो गया. इस तरह से प्राइमरी, सेकेंडरी, टर्सरी कंज्यूमर्स होते हैं और ये आपस में एक इंटरकनेक्टेड होते हैं. दे आर इंटरकनेक्टेड टू ईच अदर. एंड द प्राइमरी कंज्यूमर्स मोस्टली आर हर्बीवोर्स. प्राइमरी कंज्यूमर्स क्या होंगे? हर्बीवोर्स होंगे. एंड सम कॉमन हर्बीवोर्स आर इंसेक्ट, बर्ड्स, मैमल्स और टेरेस्ट्रियल इकोसिस्टम. और मॉलस्क, ये सभी क्या होंगे? मॉलस्क का नॉर्मली एक्वेटिक इकोसिस्टम में प्राइमरी कंज्यूमर होते हैं, राइट? मॉलस्क. ऑलराइट, ओके, फ्रॉम हियर यू स्टार्ट.
The consumers that feed on these herbivores are carnivores, or more correctly, primary carnivores through secondary consumers. Those animals that depend on the primary carnivores for food are labeled secondary carnivores. A simple grazing food chain (GFC) is depicted below. Grass to goat to man.
Yeah, okay, ठीक है. तो see यहाँ पे हमने क्या देखा कि this is I mean जो herbivores होते हैं वो primary consumer हुए, and secondary consumer जो है, जैसे हमने यहाँ पे बोला secondary consumer dog और hyenas, right? So secondary consumer can be called primary carnivores, isn't it? उसको हम primary carnivores बोल सकते हैं. और जो tertiary consumers थे वहाँ पे उसको हम secondary carnivore बोल सकते हैं. जैसे lion को हमने बात करी है, tiger की बात करी, they are secondary carnivores. Okay. So a simple grazing food chain जिसको GFC हम बोलते हैं, grazing food chain, like grass से पहले they are producer, then goat ने grass को खाया, this is primary consumer, then man ने goat को खा लिया, उसको कह रहे हैं हम लोग secondary consumer. और या फिर हम इसको क्या बोलेंगे? primary carnivore. ओके. अब ऐसा हो कि भाई इस मैन को फिर लायन ने खा लिया, टाइगर ने खा लिया, राइट? तो ये क्या हो जाएगा? सेकेंडरी कार्निवोर. दो वर्ड हम इसके लिए दे सकते हैं. तो बोल सकते हैं सेकेंडरी कार्निवोर, या फिर हम इसको टर्सरी कंज्यूमर भी बोल सकते हैं. दिस लायन इज आल्सो कॉल्ड टर्सरी कंज्यूमर. ओके, लायन तो खा ही सकता है ह्यूमन को. ओके, सो दे कैन बी कॉल्ड टर्सरी कार्निवोर, sorry, secondary carnivore or tertiary consumer, right? So like that we name the different trophic level, right? So this is one kind of food chain. जो अभी हमने पढ़ा ये एक तरह का food chain हुआ, either on the terrestrial ecosystem or in the aquatic ecosystem. Apart from that, the many times what happens, the herbivore, I mean the plants, the autotrophs has not been had by the animals or herbivore animals, but they die automatically, right? And they go for the decomposition process. So here another food chain that is called DFC, that is detritus food chain exists, right? So here in the detritus food chain, the many bacteria, many fungi, right, which acts as saprophyte are essential, right? And they are forming the separate food chain and food web. Okay, you start reading from here.
The detritus food chain (DFC) begins with dead organic matter. It is made up of decomposers, which are heterotrophic organisms, mainly fungi and bacteria. They meet their energy and nutrient requirements by degrading dead organic matters or detritus. These are also known as saprotrophs, sapro to decompose. Decomposers secrete digestive enzymes that break down dead and waste materials into simple inorganic materials which are subsequently absorbed by them.
Okay, all right. So this is detritus food chain जो हमने पीछे देखा decomposition में, right? So detritus जो तीन अलग-अलग step हमने देखा था, that is a detritus, right? And they are normally pursued by the saprophytes, and mostly the saprophytes here are the fungi and bacteria. So fungi and bacteria, they are playing the prime role in the DFC, right? Detritus food chain. They secrete some enzyme. They digest the food outside them, right? And then that digested food has been directly absorbed, right? क्या करता है, पहले डाइजेशन किया, डाइजेस्ट किया, ब्रेक डाउन किया उसको, द एंजाइम दैट ब्रेक डाउन दैट डेड वेस्ट मटेरियल इनटू द सिंपल इनऑर्गेनिक मटेरियल्स, राइट? जो ऑर्गेनिक मटेरियल्स हैं उसको ब्रेक डाउन किया, एंड देन दे एब्जॉर्ब देम. इसके बाद क्या करता है, उसको सिंपली एब्जॉर्प्शन कर लेता है. ओके, यस, यू स्टार्ट रीडिंग हियर.
In an aquatic ecosystem, GFC is the major conduit for energy flow. As against this, in a terrestrial ecosystem, a much larger fraction of energy flows through the detritus food chain than through the GFC. Detritus food chain may be connected with the grazing food chain at some levels. Some of the organisms of DFC are prey to the GFC animals, and in a natural ecosystem, some animals like cockroaches, cows, crows, etc. are omnivores. This natural interconnection of food chains make it a food web. How would you classify human beings?
Okay, see, so here they are writing that GFC, I mean grazing food chain, and DFC, right? Okay, so this GFC, right? That GFC and DFC is interconnected actually. Grazing food chain and the detritus food chain, both are connected to each other. So in the grazing food chain, in the aquatic ecosystem they are taken here. In an aquatic ecosystem, the GFC is grazing food chain is the major conduit to the energy flow. All right, in the aquatic ecosystem as well as the grazing food chain. As against this, the terrestrial ecosystem, the much larger fraction of energy flows through the detritus food chain, right? In the terrestrial ecosystem, the detritus food chain is the major, much large fraction of energy flows through the, too much amount of energy will flow through the detritus food chain, right? Then that of the GFC, right? Grazing food chain के comparison में detritus food chain is the major, major food chain where the energy will flow. And then the detritus food chain may be connected with the grazing food chain. Of course, they are connected to each other, right? At some point, at some level, like some organisms of the DFC, detritus food chain, are prey for the GFC animals, right? So this point, this is connected to each other in natural ecosystem. Some animals like cockroach, crows, right? They are omnivores, so they connect both the food chain, DFC as well as the GFC, right? So these natural interconnection of the food chain, they make the food web, right? So these make the food webs. Yeah.
प्रैक्टिकल हमने किए नहीं थे, एक्चुअली मैं बीमार थी, मेरे पापा ने बात की थी ना आपसे.
बहुतों का प्रॉब्लम है, कितने का करोगे?
नहीं सर.
चलो बैठो, मैं आ रहा हूँ. Right. So they are finally making the food web. तो हम बोले कि humans कहाँ पे आएंगे? If we talk about the humans, so where we are actually. So we are omnivorous actually, right? We are omnivorous. So we can call them, we are also connecting many times, not always, many times we are also connecting the DFC and GFC. Okay, all right, ठीक है? Okay, चलो यहाँ से पढ़ो.
Yes, sir. Organisms occupy a place in the natural surroundings or in a community according to their feeding relationship with other organisms. Based on the source of their nutrition or food, organisms occupy a specific place in the food chain that is known as their trophic level. Producers belong to the first trophic level, herbivores, primary consumer to the second, and carnivores, secondary consumers to the third.
Yes, सी ये ट्रॉफिक लेवल बता रहा है. सी ये जैसे यहाँ पे प्रोड्यूसर है, राइट, बोल रहा है कि जो हर एक का अपना एक लेवल होता है, राइट, रिलेशनशिप है, ऑफ कोर्स, चाहे प्लांट हो, एनिमल्स हो, डेट्राइटिवोर्स हो, सब में एक रिलेशनशिप है. सो दे आर द फर्स्ट ट्रॉफिक लेवल. प्रोड्यूसर्स दे आर मेकिंग द फर्स्ट ट्रॉफिक लेवल. फिर उसको खाता कौन है? तो प्राइमरी कंज्यूमर्स, दे आर एट द सेकेंडरी ट्रॉफिक लेवल. Then third trophic level, fourth trophic level, right? And here the examples are given. This is the autotrophic organisms. These are the herbivore animals, right? These are the carnivores, and these are the top carnivores, we can say, right? So they are placed at the fourth trophic level or tertiary consumer, right? So this is nothing but the trophic level, right? तो trophic level का एक diagrammatic representation है ये, okay? इसका हमको यूज होगा बाद में, ट्रॉफिक लेवल. ऑलराइट, ओके, यू स्टार्ट रीडिंग फ्रॉम हियर.
The important point to note is that the amount of energy decreases at successive trophic levels. When an organism dies, it is converted to detritus or dead biomass that serves as an energy source for decomposers. Organisms at each trophic level depend on those at the lower trophic level for their energy demands.
Yes, of course. देखो जैसे जैसे आप ऊपर जाते हो, राइट, ट्रॉफिक लेवल में, जैसे हमने फर्स्ट ट्रॉफिक लेवल से फोर्थ ट्रॉफिक लेवल की तरफ जाते हैं, द अमाउंट ऑफ एनर्जी हैज बीन डिक्रीजेस, राइट. जो ट्रॉफिक लेवल हम देख रहे हैं, जैसे जैसे आप ऊपर जाओगे, नेक्स्ट ट्रॉफिक लेवल पे जाओगे, राइट, ये आप ऊपर जा रहे हो, तो एनर्जी धीरे धीरे कम होगी. मतलब सबसे ज़्यादा एनर्जी किस में होगी? प्रोड्यूसर्स में. सबसे कम किस में होगा एनर्जी? तो टर्सरी कंज्यूमर में. मतलब much of the energy has been lost from transferring the energy from the one trophic level to the another trophic level. Okay, and the upper trophic level is always dependent upon the lower trophic level. जैसे हम टॉप फोर्थ ट्रॉफिक लेवल की बात कर रहे हैं, सो दे आर डिपेंडेंट, हाईली डिपेंडेंट अपॉन द थर्ड ट्रॉफिक लेवल, थर्ड ऑन द सेकंड, सेकंड ऑन द फर्स्ट, राइट. तो सब एक दूसरे पे क्या है? डिपेंडेंट है ना. खास करके अपर ट्रॉफिक लेवल डिपेंडेंट अपॉन द लोअर ट्रॉफिक लेवल, ऑलराइट. और एनर्जी जैसे जैसे हम ऊपर जाते हैं ट्रॉफिक लेवल में कम होते जाती है. यस, यहाँ से पढ़ो.
Each trophic level has a certain mass of living material at a particular time called as the standing crop. The standing crop is measured as the mass of living organisms, biomass, or the number in a unit area. The biomass of a species is expressed in terms of fresh or dry weight. Measurement of biomass in terms of dry weight is more accurate. Why?
यस. तो सी, इसको हम क्या बोल रहे हैं? स्टैंडिंग क्रॉप बोल रहे हैं. जो each trophic level has the certain mass of living material, right, in a particular time, which is called standing crop, right. मतलब क्रॉप जो खेत में लगा हुआ है उसी को क्रॉप नहीं कहते हैं. हर एक ट्रॉफिक लेवल में जितनी बायोमास है, दैट इज कॉल्ड स्टैंडिंग क्रॉप, राइट. एंड दिस स्टैंडिंग क्रॉप इज मेजर्ड इन टर्म्स ऑफ बायोमास. लिविंग ऑर्गेनिजम्स कितने हैं, राइट, तो बायोमास. सो नंबर इन द यूनिट एरिया, दैट इज कॉल्ड बायोमास और स्टैंडिंग क्रॉप. Okay. Yes. Yeah, sir.
The number of trophic levels in the grazing food chain is restricted as the transfer of energy flow follows 10% law. Only 10% of the energy is transferred to each trophic level from the lower trophic level. In nature, it is possible to have so many levels: producer, herbivore, primary carnivore, secondary carnivore in the grazing food chain. Do you think there is any such limitation in the detritus food chain?
Yeah. देखो इसको कहते हैं 10% लॉ, मतलब एक ट्रॉफिक लेवल से दूसरे ट्रॉफिक लेवल में जो एनर्जी पहुंचती है केवल 10% एनर्जी ही पहुंचती है, राइट। 10% मतलब यहाँ से कितना पहुंचेगा, ओनली 10% एनर्जी हैज बीन रिच टू हियर, राइट। यहाँ से केवल 10%, फिर यहाँ पे जितना है इसका 10% यहाँ पे पहुंचेगा, एंड 90% एनर्जी हैज बीन लॉस्ट। 90% डिफरेंट फॉर्म में लॉस हो जाती है एनर्जी, राइट। So this is given by the Lindemann, एक scientist है Lindemann. So this is 10% law which is given by the Lindemann, and of course in detritus food chain also this happens, right? Okay, so this is called 10% law. Okay, and here this is the energy flow through the different trophic level has been shown in this figure. So this is, see, the energy has been lost in the form of heat. So some amount of energy has been absorbed by the plants. Again, these plants has been helped by the worms. Then see, the large amount of energy has been lost. So each and every step we can see here the energy has been lost, and this is nothing but 90% of the energy has been lost. Only 10% has been transferred from the one trophic level to the other trophic level. That is given by the Lindemann.